day 7 of my Holidays in the Garden series. Today it is almost the end of November and it's time for my backyard November garden tour. So all year, every month I've been going through and I've been doing a front garden tour and a backyard garden tour. So yes, there's not much to see in November, but I gotta keep it going. I gotta keep it rolling. And I'm actually really excited for next month because next month for my garden tours, I'm gonna do a comparison of each month during the past year, during 2022. So let's get going and let me show you guys what's going on in my backyard in November. So I'll start over here. This is the north side of my backyard and I have my honeysuckle and I have my limelight hydrangeas. And my limelights, they look good this year. We have had such cold nights this fall. Usually our nights don't cool down as much as they have and as early as they have. But because they have, my hydrangea blooms, I really like the color of them. Usually they turn this like yucky brown color that I'm not really happy with, and I tend to just cut them off. I don't leave them up during all winter, but this year I'm definitely going to leave my hydrangea bloom heads. I think they look so pretty. A couple of them have fallen off already because the birds are crazy. I swear. I love having bird feeders in my backyard. I love having birds around the backyard, but they make such an incredible mess. You can see here, I think I cleaned this up yesterday, you guys, and it's already looking like this with the mulch. I planted lamium all underneath my limelight hydrangeas right here with the goal of having it completely cover underneath here, and hopefully that will keep some of the mulch or some of the mess kind of contained, and so the birds don't always kick it out like that. The lamium is looking absolutely gorgeous. I do want to add a couple more in, but it's definitely a really good spot for it under here. It's like good lighting. It gets a little bit of sun, but mostly shade, which is what lamium needs in our area. So yeah, it's looking really good. My honeysuckle, they call honeysuckle a semi-evergreen or semi-deciduous, where it'll lose about, I don't know, I don't want to say half because it usually doesn't lose half for me, but it will lose some of its leaves during the winter season. You'll see it'll start to kind of thin out a little bit. It'll get these black berries here that look pretty good. They're really pretty. But because it's been so cold this year, I have noticed a lot of the leaves are changing, are a lot more yellow than they normally are. Usually it's pretty dark green, kind of like this one over here. They usually stay about this color, but because it's been so cold, a lot of leaves are turning like this color and falling off. And that's okay. It will grow back. They are such fast growers. I could chop this whole thing back and it would grow back. No problem. But I like it to be kind of wild and messy like this. I think it is so, so beautiful and I love this whole area. Over here, this trio of pots isn't looking the best. You can see my Texas privet needs to be pruned badly. But again, it's been so cold. I've kind of just been leaving it, but it has seemed to really like this weather because it is growing like crazy. So I will just come in here once our weather kind of gets a little bit more mild. I'll just come in here and I will prune this up into the topiary balls that it's supposed to be, but doesn't look like right now. You can see my Superbena sparkling amethyst. It's not really blooming. I only have 2 blooms on it at this point. I'm actually going to be taking this out for next year. I'm planning to put something else in. I have my Supertunia whiteout right here, and then I have my Supertunia blue skies, and both of them are pretty much done as well. Earlier this month, they were still blooming and they look good, but now at this point, they're kind of finished, and so I'll have to come in and I'll have to clean all of this up. So I will get going on that. Over here, the vinca is still looking good. It's still looking green. It's definitely not blooming. They're not as happy in this spot as they are in my front yard where they get a little bit more sun. I kind of knew that. I just had extra vinca plants and I had space back here, so I wanted to put them back here. You can see my agapanthus is done for the season. I'll come back and I'll cut those bloom heads off. Yeah, and then this area back here, I'm still working on it. It's kind of just, It's just going to take me some time. I have had my eyes on one of those debutante camellias. I'll put a picture of it right here on the screen. I am obsessed with those camellias. I love it so much. I might ask for it for my birthday, but ask for it for an early birthday present because they're actually blooming right now in the garden centers right now. So I love it. I think it would be so pretty. I think it would be so pretty right back here. I have this Mystic Spires blue. The sun is kind of, can't really see it, but it's blooming right here. The leaves are looking beautiful. This is the area, if you guys remember that video, this is the area where the soil is super compacted, super dry. It's been covered by this thick landscape fabric for years and years and years. So the soil here is not good. So I amended all the soil with fir mulch bark. I amended it all with my auger and it made such a difference. And I think that the plants here are really happy. I am so happy with how these Mystic Spires Blue Salvia are doing right here. So I'm excited to get more things planted. And I think a debutante camellia, which is that beautiful pink color with the purple, I think that would be so pretty right there. So I think I will be doing that later this month. Over here, you can see my red twig dogwood. This is an elegantissima. This is just a baby, so I'm not going to use any of these twigs just yet. I will wait. I will probably wait till next season, but you can see the beautiful red. It's losing all its leaves right now, but I just really, really like this plant. I love this one, and then I love it right next to my Wichita Blue Juniper. So this one, yes, you can see that it is going to grow up into this pergola right here. But when I was talking to the people at my local garden center, I was talking to them about if this would be a good plant to kind of like prune. I don't want to say top off because I'm not going to chop it. I'm going to kind of prune it where it needs to be. And they said, yes, this Wichita Blue Juniper is fantastic plant to keep it size controlled as opposed to like an Italian cypress, which, let's see, I know that there's some over here. If you can see over in my neighbors, see those guys up there? Those guys, you just want to let those grow. You can't top those. You can't size control those. But a Wichita Blue Juniper, you can size control. So I'm going to start trying to size control it as it gets up to the top of the pergola. If it just starts growing and it's not happy, then I will move it. But I think it is exactly what this spot needs, that pop of icy blue color right there. I think it's absolutely beautiful. So I'm super, super happy with that guy. Over here, I have my Bobo hydrangeas. They have lost all their leaves. They're done for the season. They've gone to sleep. So have my Super Tunia Royal Velvet. I'll have to take those out. But can you guys see here and here and here and here and here? So I didn't plant anything here this season. These are Shrubsii alliums that I planted last year. So I planted a whole bunch of Shrubsii alliums here. They're beautiful. They're like the coolest alliums you've ever seen. When they bloomed early this spring, only 5 of them bloomed. I only had 5 of them. I was still so happy to have 5 of them, but I didn't know why they didn't all bloom. I just didn't understand. I was confused. Well, here they all are. They just took a whole year to sit in there and take their time. I see another one over there. So I'm so happy. I'm going to have a Shrubsii allium show. And I know these aren't the ones from last season, the ones that bloomed from last season, because I actually pulled those out because I thought, oh, I just don't want 5 here. I want more than that. So I just pulled them out. So these are all the other ones that I planted last year. So that was a really nice surprise this November as I noticed them start popping up. All right. Then over here, we've got a bunny fence up because we don't want the bunny going in this messy area that I, again, need to clean. I feel like I'm constantly cleaning this area. I do want to say my blue barrels are totally full of water. Yay! I'm so excited. So we had a couple good rainstorms this fall, which is fantastic. So these would fill up with just, was it 1 inch of water? Yeah, I think it was 1 inch of rain. All 4 of these would fill up. So they've all filled up. And then I've been using this water, for watering my house plants and then watering other plants that I need to use some supplemental water for. So I'm so happy to have these. And then we don't have any rain in the forecast, for the next 10 days at least. So if I see more rain in the forecast, I'll start using it even more. But right now, you know, it's cool. Things don't need as much water. But I'm just so happy that those are full. I wanted to show you this one over here. This is my I think it's called a blueberry ice bougainvillea. This is the one that I got from my neighbor who passed away. Her family gifted this one to me. I love it. It has beautiful variegated leaves. The bougainvillea has variegated leaves, and then the bracts are this gorgeous purple color. And when I planted this, oh my gosh, I did such a bad job. I shouldn't even have filmed it, because when you plant a bougainvillea, you want to be very careful with the root ball. You know, you want to be very tender with it. And it was root bound in its pot, and I basically broke the root ball in half. So I thought I killed this plant, but obviously I didn't. It looks so good. It actually has new growth on it and new bracts on it. It is a happy plant. So I'm so happy that this is doing well, because I wanted to keep this one as a memory of my neighbor, you know, and I have to train it up, and, you know, I'm probably going to put some wire on the fence or something like that. But I just wanted to show you guys this, because I wanted to keep you updated with how this bougainvillea was doing. It's doing wonderful. Now, as opposed to my purple queen bougainvillea over by my greenhouse over there, that one's in a pot, and we have had such cold nights that one is not happy. I think because it's in a pot, it's just getting too cold. This one is nice and tucked in under a bunch of leaves and a bunch of mulch. So I think it's really happy. You can see my blueberries right here. Isn't that gorgeous? Isn't that beautiful? So, you know, we're so cold that we're starting to get some leaf change. So I just think it's beautiful. These blueberries, this one and this one over here, they were not productive this year for me, but I didn't really expect them to be. These are another one that they need chill time, but these two varieties I purchased specifically for their low chill time requirements. So I think the amount of chill that we've already had this season, I think they're good. I think I'm hoping I'll get a good crop of blueberries next year. This is a dead tomato. This was my single seed challenge tomato, my purple rain. I have to say, I wasn't impressed with this tomato plant. I didn't really like it. It didn't taste that good. It was a pretty color, but I only got a couple of them. So it's definitely not a tomato that I will repeat. Okay, and then coming over to the south side of my house, you can see I still haven't gotten to this bougainvillea. Over here, I trained the bougainvillea all the way up the wall. It looks beautiful. Here you can see some places where the cold is nipping it and it's not really happy. But if you look way up here, you can see how happy it is underneath the eaves and protected. So I got to get this whole thing. I got to get it trained all the way up. I think it'll be so pretty. So at some point I will come out here and do this. It's just such a big job, you guys. It's such a big job, and there's so many thorns. Can you see the size of that thorn? Like, it's just something I don't want to do. So I will get out here eventually and I will train it up, and I will be so happy once I get around to doing that. I have these 3 white pots still here. I've trimmed them back, but I haven't clean them out because I'm kind of in no rush to clean them out. I have no plans for these pots over the winter time, and we don't freeze, so I don't have to worry about cleaning out my pots. So they're actually starting to bloom again after I trim them back. So you know what? I think I'm going to enjoy the blooms. Stanley too, right? Yes. Yeah. Old man. He's so old. He's getting so white around his face. And then coming over here, okay, so first off, these guys, I just watered some poinsettias that I just repotted, so that's what this mess is. These are some foxgloves. I already planted a whole nother tray like this out in the front yard, and I have to get around to planting this tray. You want to plant foxgloves in the fall here, and then they will bloom early in the spring, and they're beautiful. This is the Camelot mix, and it will bloom first year. I grew these from seed. This is a Snow Princess lobularia. I planted a whole bunch of these in my front yard in my front swoop over daffodil bulbs, and I somehow lost this one in my greenhouse. So I'm not sure what to do with this one. I think I will just go kind of shove it in and see if I can get it to fit. So Sadie, my daughter, and I, we spent a lot of time planting up this whole veggie garden. We were going to do it as a bunny salad bar because she has a bunny as a pet. And so we went to the store and we got all these cool season leafy greens and everything like that. And then we took this chicken wire to cover it, to protect it from the birds. And just this morning, I was sitting right over there drinking my coffee with my cat, and I noticed my cat was, he was doing that chirping noise, like he was like he was seeing something. And I looked out, and all under here, there was like 5 or 6 birdies under here just eating all the lettuce. And I knew that they were kind of getting eaten a little bit, and I thought they were coming in over here, so I put the roll right there. I think they're coming through. I think they're jumping on here, and then they're getting in like this. So I think Sadie and I need to come through and kind of tie these a little bit tighter. I'm telling you guys, the birds, they're just intense. Sometimes they're just intense, and if they want something, they will figure out a way to get to it. So I don't know if this chicken wire like this is going to work. I'll try and fix it to try and make it work. I think getting some cloches will be better. I did go to the dollar store to see if I could find those wire garbage cans that people use, and my dollar store doesn't have any, unfortunately. So I'll either, just suck it up and spend the money and buy the really beautiful ones. I did see a DIY tutorial where you could take chicken wire and kind of, make it into a garden cloche itself. So I might try something like that. I don't know. It's just frustrating. I haven't told Sadie yet, but I will tell her. And I haven't decided if I'm going to tell her, if I'm just going to go to the store and buy new ones. Not even tell her. So we'll see. We'll see how I handle that. Anyway, over here is my purple hyacinth bean. I'm shocked how long this has lasted with how cold we've been. I planted this one from one seed. This one right here was actually a volunteer, if you can believe it. And that one's actually doing better than this one. So these guys are only hardy to zone 10. Frosts will actually kill it. You can see our latest, one of our latest frosts. We've had so many frosts. It's pretty much done. People who live in zone 10, they say that they just kind of cut it back and let it keep growing. So that was kind of my plan this year. I thought, okay, well, maybe I'll just leave it and see what happens. So I'm not in a super rush to clean this back, to cut this back, especially that one that looks so good. I might just come and cut it, like to here and see if it can grow back. But for right now, I'm going to leave all the leaves on. If I do decide to cut it back, it's really easy. I just go down to the bottom, cut it, leave it there for a couple days so everything can die. And then I just kind of pull it down. So I love this plant. I will always grow this plant right here on this pergola. I don't want to say always. I might not always, but for the foreseeable future, I will be growing my purple hyacinth bean right there. Okay, and then you can see my pots are still cleaned out. There's not much to look at this point. I actually cut back this one, and this one is starting to grow back again. I think this is that high noon Euryops. So again, I just have more cleanup to do. I think what I'm going to do is I have extra bulbs. I think I'm going to plant some extra bulbs in these pots, kind of in that Klaus Dalby kind of look. I love, love, love that look. And so because I have extra ones, I think I will do that. I did want to show you guys this. I swear, can you see that? That's my weed. That's my sweet alyssum weed. I get so much joy of this little weed growing right here. I just love seeing it. So I kind of just leave it. I think it's really pretty. And then over here, I have my greenhouse. It's kind of a mess because I was just working in it this morning with the poinsettias. But you can see not much to speak about. I have my sweet peas right here. I got to get these in my cut flower garden, but they're looking really, really good. Yeah, so not too much going on. Here's the purple queen bougainvillea I was telling you about. It's not dead. If you come in and you scrape it, there's still green where I scrape. You guys see that? But you can see how unhappy it is. And I think it's just because it's been so cold, and this one is in a pot. It's not protected. So it just is more susceptible to the cold damage. So you can see, bougainvilleas, they're a beautiful, beautiful plant. I love them, but they're so finicky. It's like one little bit of temperature or water that they don't like, and they will definitely let you know. So I don't know. I love them still. I'll always love them. So speaking of bougainvillea, look at this one. Isn't that beautiful? So this one is in a pot as well, but it's obviously really protected here. This is right next to our fireplace. We actually don't use our fireplace that much, so it's not like it's the heat that's keeping it warm. I think it's because it's white right here, and so it has the reflection from the sun. But this bougainvillea obviously loves this spot. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get a big cover pot and put it, I'm not even going to replant it because it's obviously super happy. So I'm just going to put a pot there, and I think I'm just going to leave it there because it's obviously really happy. Something that I am going to move, this is a hydrangea that I got from my neighbor who passed away. This hydrangea is huge. I don't even know what kind it is. I'm pretty sure it's a microphylla or the big leaf hydrangeas. I don't even know, like, I don't know what colors it's going to bloom, but you know, any type of hydrangea I'll be happy with. So I have it here. I think I'm going to move it over to my shaded area over here, maybe right next to my debutante camellia that I'm going to plant over there. Won't that be pretty? And then I have a Meyer lemon right here. Yes, it has, what is this called? I'll put it on the screen. I can't remember what it's called. I have not treated it yet, but I need to treat it. It's still happy, like it's still doing fine. It's still growing lots and lots and lots of fruit. This one is much older than the one I have over there by my purple queen bougainvillea. That one is I think that one's like less than, or a year old maybe now at this point. This one my neighbor had for years and years and years. So this one's much more mature. And then coming over here to my side yard, my honeysuckle arch is beautiful, you guys. It is growing so happy. It's going to be completely covered by spring. I am so excited about it. This honeysuckle plant, I just planted just a couple months ago, so it's still pretty small, but it does have growth on it for sure. So it's looking good. But this one is from this plant right here. This one has been in for a couple years. It's so happy. I love it. I'm so happy with it. And it's just going to be totally covered, and it's going to be such a beautiful entrance to my garden on this side of the house where there's garbage cans and not much to look at. You guys see it? Oh, I'm just so happy with it. I'm so glad I did it. I have my espalier here, the honeysuckle espalier. I cut this guy back intensely, and that's kind of what you have to do with honeysuckle. It just gets this old wood here, and it just gets a little too woody, so you can just cut it back and it will rejuvenate and it'll be so much happier. Over here, this plant, I cut it all the way down to the ground, and honestly I thought I killed it but obviously I didn't. There's new growth on it and it'll come back. Oh, we need to touch up. I didn't even notice that. Anyway, so that one will grow back and that will fill in this area, I bet, by spring as well. All right, and honestly, that's it. That's pretty much all I have to show you back here in the backyard. There's not much going on. You know, it's just kind of that time where things tend to go to sleep, and that is okay. I am perfectly happy with it. I was kind of going back and forth. You know, if I hadn't committed to doing a garden tour every month, I probably wouldn't even have filmed this video, but honestly, I'm glad I did because I like watching gardening videos or garden tour videos, even if it's during a month where nothing really incredible is going on, because I like seeing how other people's gardens do at different times of the year. So I hope you all are getting that from these garden tours. Stay tuned for next month where we will be comparing month to month to month throughout 2022. So I hope you all enjoyed this, and I hope you all have a chance to get out into your garden today.